Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're going to continue front page review with The Punch. Who has the major headline?
I have the major headline, and it's paining my heart.
Yeah,
because this
we were all
local government autonomy is taking forever. So according to this story, they are facing challenges implementing that Supreme Court judgment that grants local governments their autonomy financially, because now some state governors, are explicitly warning the local government chairman from opening accounts with the central bank for the direct payment of their allocation from the federation account. All 774 local governments, only Delta State's local governments have submitted accounts successfully. All other local governments within different states are suffering this wahala as part of the requirement for implementing. Because if they don't have accounts, how do they pay directly to their account? They said that the panel had recommended that the central bank goes ahead to open the accounts for local government so that it can implement the judgment. But some state governors are now giving them warning. So some of them are even asking them to remit 50% to the local government monthly and some 50%. It's just annoying to be reading this story at this time.
Supreme Court judgment.
A Supreme Court judgment that should have been executed since forever, enforced since forever. Some states, local governments are willingly submitting theirs to their governors like Oyo, while some are having problems still taking instructions from their governors.
So I wanted to take the story of the fans and friends that mourning the 4 gospel artists that were killed in the Ogun Road accident. They had the accident along the Shagamu-Ikorodu Expressway on Saturday, and fans are one of the artists was Kekere Jesu. There were 3 others, evangelist Ayodeji, that was Kekere Jesu, evangelist Yanu Joseph, Monjola Jesu, Uluwa Pamilerin, and Okpeyemi Adeshino. The vehicles had head-on collision, and because of the speed, 24 people died.
Oh my God!
24 people. The road safety are just saying that people should please stop the speed. It's this speed that is killing us. And most of the fans wrote the gospel ministers and evangelists. They are gospel ministers and evangelists, but they still died through accidents. They must have prayed against evil during their prayer time, but it still happened. This shows life is so complicated. Sometimes you can do everything right and still get it wrong. You can pray hard and evil still happens to you. Life is just complicated. We only survive by the grace and not by strength. May their souls rest in peace. May Nigerian drivers, please, that speed, let's stop it. You know, third mainland, they have given us 80. But you see people going, flying past you. Now, if me that I'm going at 80, you are flying past me, if you jam me,
what will happen? And it's the impact.
It's problem.
Yes.
You know?
The impact that causes that. Anyways, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board said it uncovered 585 fake A-level certificates in 2025 alone. The year never even starts safe. With 4 suspects already arrested by the police. The registrar of the board, Professor Oloyode, made this known during a closed-door meeting with the staff of the board. He condemned this worrisome prevalence of fake A-level certificates, stating that it was to curb the menace that the Nigerian Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System was established as a platform for managing and collecting data related to post-secondary education in the country. He said that they are investigating 13 suspects, but so far 4 has been apprehended, and that the 4, they're helping them uncover the cartel, because that there's a cartel behind this whole fake certificates, and that they also have internal collaborators that are helping to abate this gross misconduct, so that they are working on it to phase it out, you know, because it just doesn't make sense that some other people are studying and working so hard, and some other person will just come and fake results and get into schools. That's not what our system and educational value stands for. So they are working to sort it out.
Okay, so I have the story of 78,000 Cameroonians sought asylum in Nigeria. This information came from the UN, actually. The UN, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, over the period in review, submitted that a number of people have actually filed for asylum. The number increased drastically from Cameroon based on the fact that there was a military coup that took place there. About 52,000 Cameroonians lodged the highest number of applications in Nigeria, but over a period of time, there was a peak that happened just last year, 22,000 in 2023, and these people are seeking asylum in Nigeria through the agency. I'm happy that it's done officially, because most Nigerians just feel like people just stroll into this country with their bags and come in and they stay in Nigeria, but there's actually a process, and the numbers of those that are seeking asylum officially are documented, so that's a good thing. We'll move on to the next paper, which is Vanguard. Is it Vanguard? Vanguard. Cybercrime Act, emergency rule protest. Police protesters clash in Abuja and Port Harcourt. And Afe Babalola to National Assembly, stop approving substandard varsities. Reverse Fubara suspension, US Law Institute task Tinubu. In other news, global tariff war, federal government review impact on Nigeria. Labour Party crisis, Abure Obioti, summon parallel NEC meetings. Atedo Peterside chairs Vanguard Personality of the Year award. And yeah, what story are we going to be taking in Vanguard?
Okay, let me just support the chief and the Leonard Silk, the other statesman, Afe Babalola, who was speaking at the High Impact Research and Journal Advancement Workshop organized by the Afe Babalola University Journal of Sustainable Development Law and Policy, themed Diamond Open Access Journal Management and Sustainability. He was using this platform to ask the National Assembly, particularly the Red Chamber, to stamp out universities, mushroom universities without, schools without vision, geared towards delivering quality and functional education. For instance, yesterday when I left the show, I looked at the Independence Bridge. I looked, just into the wash, and I saw most of the steel, the concrete off the pillars holding that bridge. I was like, oh, the Minister for Works was very correct when he talked about those capsized bridges, boats that are hitting and they've washed off the sea had washed off most part of that bridge. But I was also thinking, if our schools were researching on the kind of concrete we need.
It's been years though. It's
been years, but now we need to invest in concrete that would survive the saline nature of the waters and everything. And those are some of the reasons why universities are doing. People do PhD now and answer doctorates without a proper research solution.
Don't throw jabs. No. I refuse to receive it.
I wasn't even talking about you. I'm talking about university institutions and they're awarding PhDs without really.
When nobody attacks
them. The United States-based Institute of Law Research and Development yesterday called on President Bola Tinubu to reverse the suspension of Governor Sim Fubara of Rivers State, warning that failure to do so will irreparably damage his legacy. Yes, they said that he said that if the Supreme Court upholds the emergency declaration and the suspension of a democratically elected state governor and legislature by another democratically elected official to permanently stain his legacy. He noting that the Supreme Court was currently handling a suit filed by 7 opposition governors challenging the legality of the suspension. The statement cautioned that any attempt to avoid a ruling on the case, such as dismissing it on technicalities, would further damage the public perception of both the judiciary and the president's commitment to democracy. So they said they've spoken because they've researched the law.
All right, our final paper for today, Nigerian Tribune. Youths defy police warning, stage protest in Lagos, Abuja, Rivers, Ibadan, others. Saudi ban, Nigeria not affected from the federal government. UBEC disburses 22 billion naira to states for training of 224,000 teachers. CNG, federal government attracts $491 million investments. Unveils plan to expand penetration in 30 states. We need more CNG filling stations. I know that one is not government, but just let me just send out this reminder. APC governors visit Buhari in Kaduna, say party stable ahead of 2027. Naira under pressure amid global tariff tension, and plateau killings, military to deploy more troops to troubled communities. Which story are we taking?
Mine took the story from inside because the one that interested me was the one inside, the soldier that was arrested for chopping off a trader's fingers. Apparently, yeah. Can you imagine? This happened in Minna. He went to buy shoes from the trader, and then they started to quarrel over the price. So that got the soldier angry, so he removed his cutlass from his trousers to chop off the head of the trader. And the trader put his hands up, so he sliced off.
Finish. Turn him off body.
Hi.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Wow.
And then he now ran away. But they found him and they have arrested him.
Okay, that's good. So we'll be waiting for justice to be served. And sadly, they cannot reattach that finger because
Sadly.
funny enough, medically it could have been done, but it wasn't done. If it's not done immediately within the right time frame, it might not be able to work. That's all we can take on front page review for today. Good news is Saudi ban does not affect Nigeria. And then we'll move on.
Yeah, I was going to take that one.
Yeah, stay with us. You heard it, you did not take it. You went
no,
to take
I did. It was not in. It was in Vanguard, and you quickly moved to the next paper.
So is a good news. Stay with us.
But they said during the tourism, during the Hajj, is what that the Hajj is for only Muslims to go to Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's what we can take on front page review for today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.